Okay, welcome to week 4.
We are going to be exploring things such as case studies, Bueno Foods, which has a great organizational culture with individuals who make good decisions. So, Linda, what about Bueno Foods, the case that people are reading this week?
When you look at the Bueno Foods case, you're going to see an example of ethical leadership in the Baca family. And they produce all sorts of peppers and Mexican foods that they make available regionally and to some extent nationally. But the company has a very strong belief that they take care of their employees. One of their policies is they pay their employees, students, for good grades. So they pay a certain amount for A's and B's to incent that their employees' children do extremely well in school. There's a lot of recognition for excellence both within Bueno Foods and among the family members of the company. So I think they're a good example of a company that has taken a stand to differentiate itself in the manufacturing industry and perhaps operate more like a small business than a more larger regional player that they are. How important are individual factors? We talked about organizational culture just a bit ago, but how important are individual factors in ethical decision making?
Well, you talked about Bueno Foods and the Baco family, and they're a good example of people with very strong family ties, good moral values in terms of their own personal lives, and they've taken this right into their company and instituted many policies that take care of people, take care of not only people, but they're very concerned about the chili pepper industry in New Mexico and around the world, and they've done many things to be supportive of protecting farmers and suppliers. So where did these strong individual moral values come from? Well, in this week we look at moral philosophies. And people do have different moral philosophies. Usually you can't re-educate them to a particular moral philosophy. This is something that's really fundamental in the individual. But it's also very important to recognize there are differences. And the key word here is in any organization there will be ethical diversity. This means some people will use one type of philosophy for making decisions, someone will take another approach. But in reality, all of our research shows people really don't have one moral perspective, they have a mix. And we look at issues such as utilitarianism, we look at deontology, which is more of a duty-based approach. But our research shows that when people make decisions, all of these different philosophical types get mixed into the decision, different components of these, different backgrounds. But the one thing we have found, if people do have good principles, and these are bedrock ideas about don't discriminate, don't lie, be transparent, those types of principles, then they will overcome any situation where there's a gray area or there's a temptation to bend the rules. And we do know that there are going to be some ethical egoists in any organization. And these people also are the ones that often get on the front page for committing a fraud. There are bad eggs. There are bad people in organizations who will try anything if they don't think they will get caught. And really, organizational ethics and ethics programs can't do anything but try to weed them out, try to find them and eliminate them from the organization. So these things are very important to consider in developing a positive ethical culture. We hope you enjoy week 4. It covers a lot of issues that are important in teaching business ethics.
And thank you for all your robust comments and feedback.